I know, it sounds simple. But here's the thing. Most people who try to start a crochet project either give up halfway through or they finish something that looks nothing like what they saw on Pinterest. And then they blame themselves, thinking they're just not good at it. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is that nobody told them the right way to actually approach a crochet project from start to finish. Not just the stitches, but the whole process, picking the right yarn, planning the pattern, working through the hard parts, and actually finishing what you started. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to walk you through how a real crochet project comes together, the stuff that usually gets skipped over in tutorials, and by the end, you're going to feel like you actually know what you're doing. So, let's get into it. Okay, so first, the biggest mistake people make before they even pick up a hook. They choose a project that's way too complicated for where they are right now. They see this gorgeous, detailed blanket or a perfectly shaped amigurumi on Instagram and think, I want to make that. And I get it, it looks amazing. But if you're not honest with yourself about your skill level, you're setting yourself up to fail before you even start. Here's what I want you to do instead. Think about what skill level you're actually at right now, not where you want to be, where you are. If you're a beginner, that means you can do basic stitches, single crochet, double crochet, maybe a chain. If you're intermediate, you've finished at least a couple of projects and you understand how tension works. If you're more advanced, you've probably dealt with more complex stitch patterns, color changes, maybe some garments. Be honest. It's not about judgment, it's about picking something you can actually finish and feel proud of. Now here's the part nobody talks about, project fatigue. This is when you start a project, you're super excited for the first few days, and then somewhere around the middle, it starts to feel like a chore. You put it down, you pick up your phone instead. And then weeks go by and that project is just sitting there, giving you guilt every time you look at it. Project fatigue is real, and it happens to everyone, even people who have been crocheting for years. The reason it happens is usually one of three things. 1, the project is too big. 2, the pattern is boring and repetitive in a way that doesn't feel satisfying. Or 3, you're not seeing progress fast enough, and it feels like you're going nowhere. We're going to talk about how to avoid all three of those things as we go through the actual steps of a project. So, step 1, choosing your yarn. This sounds easy, but it's actually where a lot of people go wrong. Yarn is not just yarn. The fiber, the weight, the texture, all of that affects how your finished project is going to look and feel, and honestly, it affects how much you enjoy the process of making it. Let's talk about yarn weight first, because that's the most important thing. Yarn comes in different thicknesses, from super fine lace weight all the way up to jumbo chunky yarn. The most beginner-friendly weight is usually worsted or bulky. Why? Because it's thick enough that you can actually see what you're doing. You can see your stitches clearly, and the project grows fast enough that you feel like you're making real progress. If you're working on your first few projects and you're using something thin like sport weight or lace weight, you're going to struggle a lot more than you need to. The stitches are tiny, it's harder to keep count, and it takes forever to see any progress. So unless a pattern specifically calls for a finer yarn, stick to worsted or chunky when you're starting out. Now, fiber. This is where it gets really fun, but also a little overwhelming. You've got acrylic, cotton, wool, bamboo, blends, and they all behave differently. Acrylic is the most forgiving. It's cheap, easy to find, easy to wash, and it comes in every color imaginable. Great for beginners. Cotton is good for things like dishcloths, bags, and baby items because it's sturdy and washable, but it has no stretch, so it's actually a little harder to work with. Wool is dreamy to work with. It has natural elasticity, it blocks beautifully, and the finished fabric looks amazing. But it's pricier and you have to be careful about washing it. For your first real project, I'd say go acrylic. Don't overthink it. Save the fancy fibers for when you understand your tension better and you're comfortable with the process. One more thing about yarn. Color. This also matters more than you think. If you're a beginner, avoid very dark colors, black, navy, dark brown. These make it really hard to see your stitches, especially if you're working somewhere with average lighting. Light to medium colors are so much easier to work with. Okay, step 2, choosing your hook. The hook should match your yarn. Your yarn label will usually have a recommended hook size printed on it. Start there. Now, hooks come in different materials: aluminum, plastic, wood, ergonomic with soft rubber handles. If you're going to be crocheting for more than like 20 minutes at a time, do yourself a favor and get an ergonomic hook. Your hand will thank you. The rubber handle distributes the pressure so you're not gripping as hard, and it makes a huge difference over a long project. Step 3, reading your pattern. Okay, this is the part that trips up so many people, and I want to spend some time here because it's important. Crochet patterns have their own language. They use abbreviations like SC for single crochet, DC for double crochet, CH for chain, SL for slip stitch, and so on. Every pattern should have a key that tells you what the abbreviations mean, but a lot of beginners skip the key and just try to jump in. Don't do that. Before you make a single stitch, read the pattern all the way through. I know that sounds boring. I know you just want to start. But if you read first, you'll catch things like, oh, I need to leave a long tail at the beginning, or there's a stitch I've never done before, and I should probably watch a quick tutorial on that first, or this pattern works in the round, and I've never done that. Reading first means you won't get halfway through and be blindsided by something you don't know how to do. Also, look for the gauge swatch information in the pattern. Gauge is basically how many stitches and rows fit into a certain measurement, usually 4 inches. Pattern designers write their patterns based on a specific gauge, and if your gauge is different, your finished project will be a different size than what the pattern says. For things like blankets, gauge matters a little less. For garments, it matters a lot. The pattern will tell you how to make a gauge swatch, just a small square of stitches. And if your swatch matches, great. If not, you either adjust your tension or try a different hook size. Step 4, starting your project. You've got your yarn, your hook, you've read your pattern, now you actually start. And the first thing you're going to do is make your foundation chain, or your foundation row, depending on the pattern. This is your base. And here's a tip. Foundation chains are notorious for being too tight. A lot of beginners pull their chain stitches really snug, and then when they try to work into them on the next row, it's a nightmare. Try to keep your chain stitches a little looser than you think you need them to be. You can go up 1 hook size just for the foundation chain if that helps. As you work, count your stitches. Every row, every round. Count them. It takes like 10 seconds, and it saves you from ripping back 3 rows because you accidentally added or lost a stitch somewhere. Use a stitch marker if you're working in the round, just a little clip that goes into the first stitch of a round so you always know where you started.